All right, bit of hush. So, some great fruitful discussions there. Some people are sort of big fans of utilitarianism and you just apply it regardless of the consequences, pun intended. And other people like sort of irks them the wrong way, it doesn't seem quite right. So we're going to look at a different framework just on some of those interesting conversations that were happening. I particularly like question 4, where we're sort of trying to imagine, is a moral world one in which as many people are as happy as they can be? So one idea I was getting people to picture is a world where there's lots of people that are happy, but it's very immoral. And that was interesting, you guys coming up with the examples that you came up with. So that was a good discussion there. Okay, so this is the opposite, right? We talked about utilitarianism. Okay, so there's utilitarianism, consequentialism, and teleology. They all mean roughly the same thing, okay? It's concerned with the telos, with the end, with the consequences, and with the outcome, okay? All of those things. It's like, whatever happens at the end, we can do anything on the way there, even taking a healthy guy off the street, harvesting his organs in order to save the most people. The end, the goal, justifies any process to get there, Rihanna. Okay? This framework here is going to be completely different. We have Deontology, okay, so that's, anywhere you see ology or logical, all right, that means study of, and Deos is our duty, okay? What is our duty? So it's the study of duty. And rather than this one being concerned with what happens at the end, it's concerned with the acts themselves. So it's like lying, stealing, cheating, wrong full stop, regardless of what outcome you achieve from it. Okay? So this is developed by philosopher Immanuel Kant, okay, K-A-N-T, and he did lots of works around the Enlightenment period, but this is what we're going to focus on, and in particular his categorical imperative. So here's 3 ways of stating it. Sophie, can you read the first one for me?
Act only according to that maxim by which you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law.
Okay, so what he's saying is that every action you take, you have to act as if it was a law to act in that way. All right? So holding the door open for a person, if that sort of seems like a good action, and that may be a good law. All right? But throwing the rubbish out the car window might not be a good law to have for society, because then if everyone did it, there'd be lots of rubbish on the ground. All right, Caitlin, can you read the second one for me?
Do not act on any principle that cannot be universalized.
Very good. And Aidan, can you read the third one?
If an action is right for me, it's right for everyone. If it's wrong for one person, then it's wrong for all people.
Excellent. So you can sort of see some undertones of, sort of the golden rule here, but it's written very differently. It's like the way I act, I can only act in a way if I can accept everyone else is going to act in the same way. So let's look at these examples. This is going to be one of the questions that pops up. Okay? What does Kant's categorical imperative say about murder? Okay, so what is the categorical imperative? You've got to act in a way that if everyone else was to do it, it would be fine. The world would be a good place. Okay? The world's going to be a horrible place if everyone's murdering, if it's a law that everyone's murdering. Okay, so the categorical imperative says, do not murder. Okay, so this is a framework that we're applying to these situations. What does it say about giving to charity? Well, if the charities are doing good work and they're bringing people out of poverty and enhancing and enriching people's lives, that's going to be a good thing, especially if everyone does it. Okay, so it's like, yes, this is a good action, this is a bad action. See how we have a simple principle and we can apply it to these different things. Okay, reducing your carbon footprint. It'd be great if everyone did it. Okay, maybe reverse climate change. All right, littering, very bad. If everyone litters, then the place is going to be a dump. There's going to be rubbish. There's going to be sea turtles with bits of plastic in their mouth. All right, how about lying? Okay, and Kant is fascinating here because for lying, he's like, lying is wrong always. It's never ever justified. Okay, Mum comes home, got a nice new pink fluffy hat. What do you think of my hat, darling? You think it's atrocious. All right, are you going to say that to your mum? Yes. All right. Some people will, some people won't. Some people, oh, you look lovely, Mum. All right. So Kant says you never ever lie. Okay. Even when he describes this situation. World War II. You've got some Jews hiding in your basement. Nazi comes, knocks on the door. Are you hiding any Jews here? Yes, they're in the basement. Because he can't lie. To lie is wrong. Lying is wrong all the time, always. What is the purpose of speech? But for speaking the truth. Okay? What about this one? This is a great example of why deontology is great. The categorical imperative is great. If you catch more fish than the local limit allows, so let's say you go down to Glenelg River, you're allowed to catch 10 brim, that's all. Okay? And you go down there and you go, oh, I've got 11. You know, if everyone does that, eventually there's no fish. Okay? If everyone's catching more than they're allowed to, then there's going to be none left. Alright? So it's like, no, follow the legal limit. If everyone burns their rubbish, it's going to be pollution everywhere. Not a good idea. If everyone drives past the old lady on the side of the road who needs help, that's a disaster. Everyone's just going to drive past her. No one's going to pull over and help her. What about even something simple like this? You just snap a leaf off a tree. Okay? You might apply it to that one tree. If everyone snapped a leaf off this tree, then the tree would have no leaves and it would die. So therefore, I should not snap a single leaf off a tree, because if everyone were to do it, it would cause the tree to die. All right, but you can see the beauty in Kant's actions. Like, it really emphasises why some things are right and wrong. But when you paint that case about the Jews in the basement, it's sort of bringing it to its absurdity. So look at these two frameworks, right? We have utilitarianism, and it looks like it works really well with the outcome, and then you have this doctor that's going to harvest the organs from some poor guy who's just come in perfectly healthy. Okay, and that seems absurd. It's sort of like, no, that's wrong. The framework's really good until we get to that point. And then we've got deontology, which seems really good. Like, yeah, we shouldn't lie, and we should act in a way that everyone is able to act. Okay, but when it comes to lying, we're just going to let these people die horrific deaths. Are we just going to be honest about where the Jews are hiding? Okay, so that's enough. We've got some questions on deontology. There's less of them. And what I'd really love you guys to do, we probably won't have another discussion before the end of the lesson. What's the time here? We're 1 o'clock. We probably will. But definitely, if you get time, read The Egg. Okay, so that's a wicked story. Just over 2 pages here. It's a pretty cool story to have a read of. But first, have a go at answering the questions there.